I have been on top of a lot of things. I don't mean to brag, but sometimes I have to because this is a one-man band. I'm the camera guy, script writer, technological guy, producer, social media influencer. I do everything here. And part of what makes the show interesting is I have to see around corners, otherwise you're going to go to someone else. A couple months ago, I talked about Max Crosby. Everyone else talked about Max Crosby after that. Literally everyone. Now, it's not saying that everyone stole it from me, but the idea came to me first. A couple of weeks ago, I brought up the Keenan Allen stuff, maybe a week ago, before anyone else did. And lo and behold, now there's articles written about Keenan Allen, and we got other YouTube channels and reacting to it. Guys, this is what I do. I see around corners. I've been watching this team for a long time. I can read the tea leaves. And we talked about this when it came with Keenan Allen. I said, it'd be a nice addition. One, I don't think they'll do it. Two, it doesn't really change the trajectory of the season. And here's why. Because everyone is overreacting to what the Cardinals' problems might be. And the only logical excuse I've heard from Cardinals fans is this one. The Cardinals are one injury away in the wide receiver room from being really below average there. And to that I'd say, yeah, literally every other team is. Justin Jefferson goes down, you don't feel so good about Jordan Addison being your one. Jamar Chase goes down, T. Higgins, probably you still feel good about it, but after that it's not great. Kansas City Chiefs' wide receiver room is already below average. They had to go get old man DeAndre Hopkins. So yeah, if the Cardinals have an injury, yeah, it's not going to be great. But there's trades, you can fix those things. What you can't fix is who you are as a football team. You are a smash-mouth football team. And everyone else is looking at the wrong issue once again. The issue is not, to an extent, it is Kyler Murray. Can he complete a full season and be consistent the entire time? That's only a little bit of the issue. What's not an issue is the Cardinals wide receiver room. They've got Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson. They're fine. Let's stop overreacting to the lack of weapons. It's fine. But here's the problem for the Arizona Cardinals. If James Conner goes down again, but this time early in the season, they're a BB gun offense. And with everyone out there complaining about what the Arizona Cardinals' issues are, what could derail their season, it's not the wide receiving core. It's not the defense anymore. And heck, it's not even to a degree Kyler Murray's consistency. It's James Conner. The one thing that worries me more than anything is that they are reliant they are really reliant on a 30-year-old running back who plays downhill and has a lot of tread on the tires and never completes a full season healthy. He's mostly missing at least 2 or 3 games a year. And do you remember what happened when he went down in that Carolina Panthers game? They couldn't move the football. Very next week, lose to the Rams. They're a BB gun offense when James Conner's not in there. Kyler Murray's relying on him. Drew Petzing is relying on him. If you ask me, the Cardinals are way more inclined to go after depth at the running back position than they are at the wide receiving position. This team is a smash mouth, downhill, play off the run, play action, and then we're going to throw the ball deep offense. It's not the inverse. They're not looking to throw the ball downhill first, or they're not looking to throw the ball downfield first. They're looking to gash you in the trenches, get those safeties to creep up, and then beat you in one-on-ones with their route runners. James Conner has to stay healthy for this Cardinals team to have a chance at the playoffs. That's how dire he is. If he goes down, the whole thing goes down. And it's why I advocated for Cam Skattebo on this team. Because Cam Skattebo is just baby James Conner. And so when people told me, oh, you can't because you went and got Trey Benson. Trey Benson was fine. He didn't warrant the 3rd-round pick last year. Could he change that? Sure. But it's why when people said they don't need Cam Skattebo, yeah, they kind of do. They have a running back who plays the same way Cam Scadaboo did in James Conner and can never stay healthy for a full season. And for each game that matters for this Arizona Cardinals team, James Conner's got to be healthy. He's going to miss 1 or 2 games. That's baked in. That's just who James Conner is. He plays too downhill. He goes after defenders. He seeks contact. We just know he's going to miss 1 or 2 games. That's okay. But in those 1 or 2 games, are you going to learn your lesson? Are you going to be able to hand the ball off to Trey Benson and play the same way? No, I don't think so. The Cardinals' issues are not at wide receiver. They're not at defensive line. They're not at OC even to some extent. The issue is, can James Conner stay healthy? Because I watched this team when they didn't have James Conner last year. They were unwatchable. And part of that is on Drew Petzing. This team cannot be so reliant on a 30-year-old running back who plays downhill with a lot of tread on the tires. We know the stories about 30-year-old running backs. They fall off a cliff. What if James Conner falls off a cliff this year? What if at the start of week 1, he's not the same running back, which would not be a shock. He's 30. Running backs do that. Once the tread happens on the tires, they give out. That's the number one problem for the Cardinals. The number one problem is not weapons, defensively, Drew Petzing. It's, can Conner stay healthy? Can Conner be reliable through 17 games? Because when he's on the field, he's one of the most underrated running backs in the league. But when he's not there, the Cardinals are like a chicken run around with its head cut off. They don't know what they're doing. The Panthers steamrolled through this team as soon as James Conner went down. The Rams had no issues with the Cardinals when James Conner went down. This offense has to evolve from a downhill, physical runner, lean on James Conner, to we got to lean on Kyler Murray a little bit more. And that's not Kyler Murray's fault. That's on Petzing. Petzing has to be able to be more aggressive, throw the ball downfield. But what can't happen is relying on a 30-year-old running back who's played a lot of games, who's had injuries before. If he falls off a cliff this year, just falls off a cliff, would it surprise you? He's injured often, misses at least 1 to 2 to 3 games a year. He's older, and he plays with reckless abandon on the field, which is great. I want Conner to play that way. I'm not asking for James Conner to change his play style. That is James Conner. That is Arizona Cardinals football. But what happens is they need to be ready for it. They need to be more adaptive to it. Because if you lose Conner again, to any reason, you have a strong concern for this football team. If he goes down in week 2, week 3, you feel screwed. Do you not? So just like how I've seen around corners before, this is the corner that I'm seeing around now. Everyone just forgets what this team looked like against the Panthers. BB gun offense. Couldn't throw the ball downfield. Couldn't move the ball on a Panthers defense that had a lot of young players and not a lot of name brand recognition. They were not a good defense, and they shut you down. And that's what cost you the playoffs. This team is so reliant on James Conner that it worries me. And if you're talking about something that could strongly derail the Cardinals' season, it isn't Petzing to some degree. It isn't Kyler's consistency. They won 8 games with Kyler playing lackluster football at the end of the season. He just plays a little bit better. They win 9, they win 10. It's not defensively. It's the fact that they need James Conner in the worst way possible. A guy that's only rushed for 1,000 yards once, often injured, tread on the tires, 30 years old. Ivan, it's a good idea. Nick Chubb would make sense on this team, but he's not going to sign as a third string running back. He'd probably sign as obviously the second or third string guy, and you'd probably wait for a Conner injury to happen to sign that guy. But it's not a bad idea. Depth at the running back position is far more important than wide receiver depth on this team. McBride, Harrison, Wilson, they're fine. Don't try to tell me Kyler needs more around him. They're fine. But that's the worry for this team. It's not anything else. It's not other positions of need. It's, can Connor stay healthy? If he does, I'm largely not worried about the Cardinals' playoff chances. If he doesn't, Cardinals are in a world of hurt. World of hurt. If they haven't adapted and learn from their experiences last season.